What's up, Slickdealers? This video was going to be a comparison between two classic sneakers, the Air Force Ones by Nike and the Stan Smiths by Adidas. Which do you think is better? Blow us up in the comments, feel free. And I had a promising start because I was a little biased in favor of the Air Force Ones. Why? Because these shoes are everywhere. It's like the white Air Force One is the it shoe of Los Angeles. If you have to have one pair of sneakers, get a pair of all white Air Force Ones. They go with everything, they look good clean or dirty, just do it, pun intended. But then this happened. I discovered the Air Force One Craft and I tried it on and I realized I gotta tell somebody about this. These are not your average Air Force Ones. Even though they look almost exactly the same, they do not feel the same at all. And to help me explain the differences, I have a special guest. Please welcome to the stage, me. Hello you, hello me. So Pete, what are we doing today? Well, we're comparing two different versions of the iconic all-white Nike Air Force One. The classic $90 version and the more expensive $120 craft version. What should we look at, doppelganger? Let's talk about style, durability, comfort, and price to help you determine which is the right Air Force One for me, for us, for you. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe and like this video if you're dazzled by the two of us. I mean, in terms of style, the Air Force One and the Air Force One Craft are pretty much dead even here. They look almost exactly the same 20 feet away on a galloping horse. And that's the point. If you want clout, especially in the eyes of sneakerheads and hype beasts, you want your Air Force Ones to be very specific. Most importantly, they've got to be all white. Even something like the logo being a different color throws off the vibe. I was legitimately concerned that this off-white heel on the Crafts might present a problem for me. And here's another really confusing thing. Not only does Nike make several different models of the Air Force One, it also has several different sneakers that look like an Air Force One but aren't, like the Court Vision or the Dunk Lows. It's kind of confusing, and you may not care so much about looking cool in the eyes of the sneaker elites, but if you do, make sure you're buying Air Force Ones. They're the cream of the crop. And about those Air Force One variations, honestly, I could go on for a while. You've got the Reacts, collabs with brands like Off-White, but the easiest way to stick to the real standard is the price point. The classic all-white Air Force One is $90 everywhere you can get it. Sadly, as of now, they are pretty much out of stock everywhere except Nike. That's how hot these shoes are though. And that's also another reason why it's worth considering the variants that are similar enough to satisfy your styling requirements. Enter the Craft and transition to durability. Wait, first a couple of points. The Craft are gonna be easier to find right now because of that higher price point. And to reiterate, style is a tie. Ooh, coming in hot with that save. Thanks, I see an opening and I just swoosh. Design's gonna be where we start to see the biggest differences between these shoes. The original Air Force Ones feature a foam midsole and a rubber sole and a firm leather upper. The upper on the original definitely has a rigid feel to it, which I'll get more into in comfort. It's all gotta be about comfort for you, my dude. Yeah. The tongue of the shoe is made of a combination of leather with a polyester lip and is padded on the underside. The interior and insole has a breathable mesh lining. What are you doing? Breathing. Is it my turn? The Air Force One Crafts feature the same sole stitched with that thick rope stitching on the upper, but the upper here is the main difference. The Crafts feature a premium tumbled leather that is more supple, softer, and bougie. The heel is an off-white suede on this particular pair, and the laces are higher quality and have metal aglets. That's what these little dingle-dangle things are called. I feel insignificant. The tongue, the one part I think is lesser on the Craft, is all polyester, but the interior and insole also feature higher quality fabric lining. Smell test! They both definitely smell like leather, but the Crafts have a more distinct rawhide leather smell. Peter, don't at me. So which pair wins for materials and durability? After all that, you'd think it'd be the Crafts, huh? Here's the thing though. Despite the higher quality leather and materials, the premium leather and suede is gonna be harder to clean and keep clean. If you plan to keep the Air Force Ones looking used and worn, which is a choice, the Craft is gonna be great for that. But if you want mean, pristine, and always clean, go for those classics. So the Crafts win on materials, but the originals win on durability. This is the most important section, hands down. I mentioned earlier when I tried on the Crafts, I was shooketh. That's because despite Nike store associates reassuring me that the shoes would have the same feel, they absolutely do not. That is straight up fantasy. These feel like two different shoes. The original Air Force Ones look great, but when you first put them on, they feel like a pair of wood clogs compared to the Crafts. The firm leather upper means serious rigidity and not a lot of give. If you're like me and you've spoiled yourself for the last 5 years with prime knit and sock sneakers, the classic Air Force Ones will feel like switching from a t-shirt to a burlap sack. Confusing, uncomfortable, and unnecessary. Comparatively, the Crafts, while not the most comfortable shoe I've ever put on, definitely feel more comfortable right out of the gate. The difference between the pairs can best be summed up like so. The originals feel like you have to wear them in. The Crafts already feel ready to roll when you first put them on. That softer premium leather upper and other material differences result in a more malleable shoe that moves with your feet. For comfort, the Crafts win. Price is always the shortest section. Pretty easy too. The classic Air Force Ones win at $90 while the Crafts are $30 more expensive at $120. But as Pete mentioned earlier, the classic pair is kind of hard to find. Yeah, as of the making of this video, all of the sneaker stores in the LA area were either in very low supply or sold out of this shoe, with the exception of a couple of Nike stores in Pasadena and Santa Monica. Nike's website seems to be the best place at the moment to find them, and you aren't likely to find deals on these either. Nike's best-selling sneaker is the classic Air Force One 07, and they are excluded from discounts and promo codes at most places. My best advice would be to check Dick's Sporting Goods. They actually sell the Air Force One and will often have promo codes like this one that I found on Slickdeals for $20 off a $100 purchase. You just add a filler item that costs $10 and you've saved $20. Great deals, but that was a little long-winded. The classic Air Force Ones win on price. In the end, after considering the differences between these two shoes that look almost exactly alike, which one, Pete? So considering everything on the table here, pun intended, I actually think that the Crafts win. The original Air Force Ones are great, but they're gonna take a while for you to wear in, and you might experience discomfort wearing them, maybe even blisters. I don't see that happening with the Crafts, yeah. And the Crafts may be more expensive, but not a whole lot more. Like, honestly, it's the wear and tear I'm most concerned with for the Crafts. I tend to avoid white shoes in general because of how difficult they are to keep clean, and the Crafts are gonna be harder for you to keep clean than the regular pair. But that's the beauty of these sneakers. Clean or dirty, they're poppin'. So with us valuing comfort over cleanliness, the original Air Force Ones take an L to the Crafts. If you need your sneakers to be spotless white though, or as clean as possible, go with the cheaper originals. Just keep in mind they're gonna feel like clunky clown shoes compared to the Crafts. Disagree with anything we said? Let us know in the comments, especially this one. Is the Air Force One the world's most popular shoe right now? I say yeah. Bold statement. Thanks for watching. Hope you found this video helpful. And please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more. I'm Pete, and I'm Pete. Let's see more shots of those shoes. Heck yeah.